The start of the US Motorcycle Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas started to all kinds of shithouse, mainly down to Marc Marquez. But what happened? Before the MotoGP race was due to get underway, the Moto2 race took place in wet conditions, with the likes of Jake Dixon on wet tyres lapping his teammate Filip Salac, who took a chance on the dry tyres. This led to half the teams at the start of the MotoGP race to sit on the grid on wet tyres. But this would change just before the start. A dash from Marc Marquez from his bike while staring up at turn 1 just a moment before the formation that was due to take place prompted the rest of the riders that were on the grid with wet tyres to follow him into the pit lane to get their other bike that would have been fitted with the slick tyres. A full race restart took place 10 minutes later with all the riders in their original positions. This is controversial because the gamble that the lower teams took in originally starting with the dries was now essentially entirely bypassed and didn't matter, with their thought process being that the riders that changed bikes had to start from the pit lane. But contrarily, the amount of riders that abandoned their bikes on the grid facilitated a full race restart as per the actual rules. So whether the rules themselves actually need to be modified in the case of fairness, in a case like this, one of which I think we've only seen once before at the 2018 Argentine Grand Prix. It also looked like one of the strangest starting grids I've ever seen in my life, with Jack Miller being the only rider to make the right decision, and therefore the rest of the grid having to start multiple rows back from the Australian. There was plenty of attrition in this race also, with 6 riders falling off at some point during the race, including a race-leading Marc Marquez, showing that he's human in the race for the first time this season, giving the race win to Francesco Bagnaia and the championship lead to his brother Alex. Should the rulebook be revised for late bike changes?